Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Love Island cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. We've got a lot to get our teeth into today to see out this week. So where do you want to start today?
Well, I want to start, Dave, actually, with the little damp squib was Shauna leaving. I was shocked, and I think Luke M, playing to the fact that he is actually a nice guy, did the right thing. However, we'll talk about Demi in a bit, but I do think that was the right decision. I think once Callum recoupled with Molly, looking back now, it was gone. I mean, I was sick of Shauna sniping and bitching, Dave, to be honest, towards the end. I get why she was like that. And then it showed even more. The play she did for Luke M was just complete game playing. So I think at the end of the day, unfortunately, as much as she may have her fans, I think personally that was the end of it. And I was happy that she was gone.
Yeah, I think they tried to build up the drama, tried to build up the tension. They left it. So, Luke M had that clear choice. I think it would have been more interesting, if the girls had a pick, and to see who Demi had gone for. Would she have still been interested in Jamie or gone for Luke M? But as soon as Jamie went for, the girl who he says he has a lot of banter with, which, fuck me, if that's your level of banter, I do not want to see them on screen at all. But when it came down to it, I just never really felt any of that tension. I never felt like there was a choice in it. He had to pick Demi. It would have just been absolutely ridiculous if he'd have gone for Shauna.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been a complete farce, to be honest, Dave. I totally agree. Now, however, Dave, I've got a bone to pick with Demi. Now,
I saw you tweet about this, and I was like, you're not seeing it the same way I am, but go on.
Yeah, so we may have our first debate on this, Dave, but initially bought into her, thought, yeah, fair enough. Wasn't so sure when we got the crocodile tears, when Luke M might not pick her with the Shauna thing, because at the end of the day, I understand she was burnt by Naz, but she was leaving her options open with Jamie, and she even looked a bit pissed off that Jamie picked Natalia. So let's not kid ourselves. Last episode tonight, I genuinely was off the train. So here's why I'm saying it, Dave. She is playing a game. That fucking screaming when they were on that bike date was horrendous, right? Forget that. We all have no annoying traits. I can live with that. I am as annoying as the next person, so fair enough. I'm sure there's plenty of people lined up and say that, Dave. However, she's blagging Luke M. I do not believe for a minute that they are a couple, Dave, now. I think tonight it's shown me more than anything that she's playing the game as good as anybody. And this isn't because Sean has gone, let's jump on and slag off another girl. It's far from that. It's just, I genuinely tonight was thinking, you're playing the game with Luke here. You've gone with the safe bet, and that's exactly what I think she's done.
I just think you're being sexist.
Well, that's the end of the podcast, everyone.
I don't actually know what you're seeing. I mean, what I'll give you is that it's a bit odd because, as I said yesterday, it was all in her hands. All she had to do with Luke M is just say, look, to be honest, this thing with Jamie, I'm doing it because I feel like I have to, like I owe it to myself. But actually, now the Shauna things come in, it's helped focus my mind, and we should just make a go of it ourselves. I don't quite understand why she didn't have that. So there is something fishy about that. At the moment, though, I'm just putting that down to a bit of naivety and not seeing the dynamics. But I mean, what is it specifically you're thinking that you've seen tonight that she's playing a game?
I just think in general, Dave, when you get a bit of a feeling and an inclination, I just wasn't buying it at all. I'm not buying any of it. I know Shanice and Luke T came over when they kissed and we got all the lovely stuff, which is fine. And if I am wrong, I am wrong. You can be more than plenty of times we switch what we think of people, and this due to mainly because of the editing. I just not feeling it, Dave, at all. I just don't think it's sincere. I think Luke, again, is going to be set up for a fall. I'm not necessarily saying she's going to recouple with somebody, because I think it'll absolutely be Love Island suicide to do that, because she'll be out the door faster than Naz. However, I'm not buying it, Dave. There's just something off with me. And honestly, it seems so fake the way she was reacting on that bike ride and that. I mean, why was she squealing like that? It was just like, oh, fucking shut up, you know.
So your overall conclusion is that on this game show, she's playing a bit of a game.
I had a couple of glasses of Prosecco and a nice caramel rum last night, Dave. So maybe it was being a bit harsh.
Well, I think we do differ on this one. I'm taking it at face value. I do find the squealing a little bit annoying, but I think that's just her. On the whole, I just think she's. I think she does seem quite nice, but there is that nagging doubt about why she didn't just, focus on Luke M. So I'm on the other side of the fence to you for the moment.
Okay. Hey, and that's what it's about, Dave. Opinions make the world go round. But I'm hoping that in a couple of days you're going to. Well, I hope so. but I hope you turn round.
You fucking Tommy Fury mixing your metaphors there.
Anyway, Dave, let's move on from that. But I'm hoping in a couple of days you say to me, like I'd called out some other things, Chris, you were on the money. I'm telling you, Dave, hold this podcast. I'm telling you. However, Dave, look, I was on it last night. Obviously, I mean, the best was, I think Raven T went, I think you've been a bit harsh there, Chris. It was actually one of your tweets, Dave, tonight. It wasn't even me. I know I was tweeting most of it. It wasn't even me.
I think it was just the assumption. So, because I mean, you tweet a lot more than me, and usually yours are a little bit more... harsh, yeah. I tend to be on the diplomatic, but Jesus Christ, when Jamie said about Natalia's banter, I was just like, oh my God, this has got to be the most boring couple I think I've seen in last season's UK, in the US, in the Australian Love Island, all of them. This lot win the most boring couple award.
Yeah, I'm not even going to argue. I think just absolutely ridiculous. Natalia just can't crack a smile, can she, Dave?
Yeah, well, it did make me laugh, though. I tweeted that and Raven T just assumed it was you.
Thanks, Raven.
But I think there was a bit of sarcasm. I don't think he was genuine.
No, he wasn't having a pop. No, he wasn't. I wouldn't have took it anyway if he was. I knew he was just having a joke. But Dave, right? Look, you know I am 6th season into Love Island UK. I've watched all sorts of different reality shows. Do you buy for 1 minute with this absolutely bullshit Luke T, I'm going to ask her to be my girlfriend? Do you honestly believe, right? There's a couple of things. I was fizzing tonight. So Luke T, he's texting all the guys when they're all next to him what they're going to say and what they're going to do, right? So why? Nobody fucking knows, right? So he's going to text them all when they're all sat next to him. Okay, let's just try and believe that for a second. The second thing, the fucking crown. So we get a little thing of like Blue Peter where, Finn's trying to make this crown. Dave, I've never seen a crown so symmetrical. The fucking diamantes were absolutely perfect. So we're now meant to believe that Finn has worked on Blue Peter at some point, Dave, and made these things. Fuck off. It was all fake. The lines they come out with. So we're going to believe, and I am not the most articulate person, but we're going to believe that Luke T has created this whole Disney fucking faux pas boyfriend-girlfriend scenario where they go from one side and she's going, I don't know. What's it all about? Let's have a think. It's Love Island. Finn's done it. If you've ever watched the show, I was like, oh, Dave, I was on it tonight. I was being the most cynical. Fuck off. This is so bullshit. Just ask her. I mean, Sam said to me, well, when you become boyfriend and girlfriend, you just sort of hang around for a bit with each other and your boyfriend and girlfriend.
Do you want a takeaway?
Exactly, Dave. Let's put it in context. When I proposed to Sam, I proposed to her with a sombrero on in a club called 21 Piccadilly in Manchester. And then I got thrown out for having a brawl with somebody. So it's not exactly the most romantic. No, funny enough, some guy had actually grabbed hold of a Dave, and we ended up having a bit of a brawl and got thrown out. But anyway, let's not talk about that. But that's how I proposed to my wife for 22 years, Dave. So It's bullshit. Even asking her to marry me. I mean, I did get up the next day, Dave, and propose to him on knee sort of thing, just to make sure it was real. But why would you? Why would you? It's just nonsense. Nobody does that now at all. It's just, I know it's for the show and it creates that bit of hype and all that, but I wasn't buying any single minute of that. The only thing I believe is that they are a couple. I do believe there is something there, Dave. I'm not being a complete arse on today's show. I just wasn't this whole nonsense around it. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck, you know.
I think we're a bit closer on this one because I mean there's quite a few annoying things. What would say in terms of sweet moments? I thought in the kind of recoupling thing, I thought Finn's speech, and I know there's plenty of people out there who question, Finn and Paige and how authentic that is, and is she just playing a game? But I thought, in terms of words, I thought he absolutely nailed it, and I found myself like a bit of a lump in the throat when Paige was tearing up there. So, I still think she's got lots of issues herself, trust issues that she's got to work out. But I did think that was quite touching. But mostly tonight's episode was just annoying. And I'm with you. I'm sure even on this season, even before this episode tonight, I've just said this whole boyfriend and girlfriend thing gets on my nerves. I mean, you're sleeping in the same bed, you're doing bits, you're snogging each other's faces off in various, either on the day beds or in challenges or whatever. And then these elaborate things, these setups to say, will you be my girlfriend? It seems to be. Someone tell me, listeners out there, does anyone in real life actually do this? Or is this purely a Love Island thing?
Yeah, I think it's Love Island, Dave, because, I mean, I could be wrong. I know we're 20 years older than a lot of the people who are on the show. Maybe we're just missing out there. Even my nephews and nieces who are around that age, I genuinely know that not one of them will do this nonsense. They'd be like, fucking get up, or what the hell are you doing? Do you know what I mean? If you were getting married or you're proposing, then it's the sort of thing you would do in like a viral video, isn't it? You've seen it and it's brilliant. And you do see that. I love watching them on YouTube where you had that song, what it was, I Think I Want to Marry You. And there was like a viral one from about 5 or 6 years where the guy did it all set up with the family and they were doing a dance routine.
Oh,
and
there's loads of them, isn't there?
Exactly, there's loads of them.
Have you seen the one that, like, for the first dance and they start dancing to Baby's Got Back?
Yeah, exactly. So you got, I know they proper overkilled it then, didn't they? But genuinely, there's some brilliant ones. You're right, some fantastic, hundreds of millions of views. But this is nonsense. Now, Dave, just before we get into our emails today, do you honestly believe that Ched knew what the fuck Mike and Luke T were talking about when he was going, it's a tomato, a tomato? I was like,
so done with the Breakfast Club.
Dave, Ched didn't have a fucking clue. He just went, I had a tomato. And I was just like, poor Ched. I felt that sorry for him.
Yeah, I think in that moment, Ched was our point of view character, because I've called this breakfast thing out a few times now, and it's just like, if you explain what the rules are, it's not, and the cameras are all there, you're not speaking in code anymore because you're laying out what the rules are. And then, if you talk about a tomato and you've received, or whatever the bloody hell it is, and it annoys me each time. But, the fact that they're indoctrinating Ched into the Breakfast Club, I did put out a silly little tweet saying there's only one Breakfast Club. And that was a John Hughes movie. But I imagine most of the watchers, certainly the Love Island, wouldn't pick up on what the hell that is. No. But yeah, I'm done with this nonsense now. I think, if I'd have seen that conversation once, that would have been enough. And I've seen it about 3 times now. And I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. just get over it.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Now, Dave, we've had another plethora of emails. Brilliant again. This one's from Denise. Happy days are here again. The Shauna show is over. That mess of recoupling dragged on for 30 minutes. What the hell? Next to bin are Jamie and Natalia. What are those 2 balls doing in there? Exactly what we'd said. Quite frankly, I'm over Paige and Finn. Demi has learned her lesson and he's laying it on fit with Luke M. Will they put in a new Islander? Can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this last episode, Denise. So it's another good one, Dave. I will say, Dave, I think the favourites now are Ched and Jess, and they could be the silent assassins to take the title, or realistic, it might be Shanice and Luke T, because Shanice is getting loads of love online, Dave. And I must admit, as we've said, I am not as, she doesn't irritate me like she did. I think she's got some comedy facial expressions are just brilliant. The way she reacts to stuff. When she kissed him and all that was quite funny, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, again, the whole Disney thing. I mean, like you said, it was all set up tonight, wasn't it? You know, it was just ridiculous. But yeah, Shanice has grown on me a bit more, and I still stand by what I said yesterday. I think it's when she's talking about just general things or giving advice to other people. That's when you see the best of her. It's when she's talking about herself and bigging herself up. I think that's when she comes across particularly in a not nice way to me. But yeah, you know what though? I mean, will people forgive Callum and Molly, or Callum specifically? I don't know, but I think they might have a chance as well. The only thing that'd stop them is they're pretty boring, aren't they?
I was going to say,
yeah.
Fucking boring as fuck, to be fair, Dave. They look aesthetically, they look like a really compatible couple, but I agree. I think they're just boring as fuck. Now, Dave, we've had one off Dan Clark Hall, and Dan has emailed him before. Now, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. This could almost be out of the Chris Phelps playbook of emails, Dave. So it says, "Hi guys, I wonder what Paige's opinion is on the newspaper headlines accusing her of cheating on Lewis Capaldi. If there is no smoke without fire," he's put, "now this isn't me, she's a twat and Finn could do with binning her. Demi was terrified of losing her backup plan, and he's now stuck with him. Interesting for Luke M to say how good their chats are when all he seems to say is, yeah, while she waffles utter shit. Glad Shauna is gone. She played the wounded animal act too long. Luke T talks like he's been asked to read aloud in class." Other than Shanice having a wobble over Luke T mentioning her getting naked, she's pulled a real turnaround. Before she went into the hideaway, she basically presented herself in front of the entire house anyway. How the fuck is Jess still in there? I can't think of a single redeeming quality. Natalia and Jamie are a pair of bellends. Why do the producers feel the need to turn up the microphones when they all kiss? Oh, I've got to say, Dave, that fucking annoys me. Like, fuck. And I keep thinking, God, does that what me and Sam sound like when we kiss? It's like,
oh, it's really
it's fucking horrendous. Horrendous. He's put, sorry for the rambling. It probably feels like you are having a conversation with Demi. Fuck the lot of them, Dan.
That is brilliant.
It's fucking outstanding, Dave. It's almost like, I'm telling you, Dave, the Demi momentum's coming. I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling it. So here we go.
You know what? I do have to say, I mean, I don't check the headlines or whatever. I just watch the show and I'll pick up on bits, but as you were just reading through that, just reading up this article on Paige, and a source says Paige pretends to be a nice girl, but within months of dating Lewis Capaldi, she was cheating with Gary, one of his best friends. Oh, so I tell you what, if there's another headline game, surely, these meddling producers are going to throw out something there.
They've got to. And no, I'm saying that. I sound like I was too enthusiastic.
Like salivating at the mouth there. Go on, drama.
Bring all the fucking skeletons out the closet, the bastards. No, I mean to iron it out because she's just gone one way with that headline. There should have been a reciprocal headline regarding her, shouldn't there? It should have been there the other way. So, yeah, I agree, Dave. I agree. I mean,
no wonder she's got trust issues.
Yeah, she can't trust the fucking self by the sounds of it. But anyway.
That's terrible.
The next one is from good friend Karen, Dave, and she's put, "Hi guys, must be the age versus theirs, but why all the bloody screaming? I think Paige finally grew on me tonight. She tries to play the hard-faced bitch, but she really is quite insecure and sensitive. Maybe we should have done this before we talked about that, Dave. She's in there for love, which seems to have found with Finn, but can't help to think, get a grip when crying and saying, what am I going to do without you when Shauna was leaving? She'll see her in about 2 weeks. I think Luke made the right decision with Demi as they make a cute couple. And as much as I think Shanice and Luke make a nice couple too, I'd prefer to see the bromance of the two Lukes together. Those two are so cute. Callum, far happier and more relaxing, Molly, much more suited. Mike and Priscilla still don't give a shit. Jess and Ched, okay, but wouldn't miss them. Jamie and Natalia, the next couple out, as who gives a shit. The two Lukes to win, Karen. I already said that. The two Lukes are top mates, aren't they, Dave? So I won't argue with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, considering someone walks in and looks like Justin Bieber, so immediately I don't really like him. So that's where I started off from. He's really grown on me. He just seems like such a genuine, nice lad. And yeah, I hope he certainly gets to the final.
Yeah, I do, Dave. I do. Right, guys. If you want to contact us and get your emails in like everyone has today again, the Love Island Cast at gmail.com. And if you want to follow us on Twitter at Love Island Cast. And please, if you get a chance, get onto your podcast catching up and drop myself and Dave a review of the show. So, Dave.
So Chris, just before we wrap up, hot off the press, we've just had a message through from Twitter.
All right.
From Ms. Ellarelli. And it says, "Hello, gentlemen. Your show is now the only reason to watch this season of Love Island. Last night was a real slog. None of the remaining couples feel like they would exist in the real world. Shanice wouldn't give warm Luke tea and his fishing jacket the time of day outside the villa. And the only reason she's interested now is the fact that he looks at her like Gollum looked at that ring." She has him so well trained, she'd give Barbara Woodhouse a run for her money. Oh, I'm loving these references. I fast forwarded the last 10 minutes of the show. The second Luke T got busy with some stick-on face jewelry to preserve my sanity. Demi and Luke M will only last as long as it takes them to realise that Demi's near constant screaming doesn't constitute as banter or compensate for the personality vacuum that is Luke M. Oh, she's coming out all guns blazing here, Chris. So they'll probably get married. Two things stood out last night. One, the disturbing sight of Jed chomping on Jess's fingers in bed. Not sure what the creepy meeting of the Breakfast Club, thanks for ruining that film, guys, would call that. Vomit. And the highlight of the show, the 5 seconds of reel where Callum forgets how mouthwash works. Comedy. With nothing but couples dates and badly written monologues declaring undying love left in the bag, the only thing to look forward to is how dire Callum and Ched's efforts to perform these soliloquies will be. I am literally hating this show. Can't wait for the next episode of the podcast. Chris, that is a brilliant message. And I think she sums up my kind of feelings towards the show as well. I kind of hate it, but then I can't wait to get on here and sort of discuss it with you.
Yeah. And that's ridiculous. I'm the same. I was chomping watching it, absolutely chomping watching the episode, thinking, right, I mean, you were always talking out with while it's on, and I'm like, right, Dave, let's fucking have it now. I'm dying to go on these bastards, and it's ridiculous how wound up we get.
I tell you what, though, after reading that about Paige, I'm chomping at the bit now. I want them to throw her under the bus, to be honest.
I don't think she's as eloquent as she says, Dave, or as innocent, definitely.
Well, I mean, clearly not. But I just want to see. It's like what I said about Jamie. If you're going to call out someone else, you'd better be whiter than white. And Paige has been a bit like that, hasn't she? Up on a high horse. She's got these trust issues. The implication being she's been cheated on lots of times before. That might be true as well. But I just want to see her explain this. I want to see her under a bit of pressure. And Finn to go on the offensive for a change.
I'm with you. It's interesting that, and look, she might have been burnt a hell of a lot, and this happened. We don't know the context of it, do we? So as much as I'm saying, let's get these headlines out there, we don't know what's happened, do we? It's paper talk, innit? So let's just see with that. But if he does come out and she's done it. That's it. Everyone makes mistakes. But at the end of the day, they've got to throw it into the show, Dave. Forget all this.
And that's it. I'm not saying if you cheat once, you should be hung, drawn, and quartered or anything. I just want to see her put under a bit of stress. And considering she's been dishing it out, and accusing Finn when there's nothing there at all. I just want to see it flipped around a little bit and have a little bit of tasty drama.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, Dave, on that bombshell, we'll see you all next episode.
Bye now.